Captain Elias Kane adjusted the straps of his exosuit as he stepped over the jagged terrain of the abandoned alien city. The ruins stretched endlessly before him, towers of iridescent crystal rising like fingers from the scorched ground. Dust swirled in the pale sunlight, making the air shimmer as if the city itself was alive. Elias paused, scanning the horizon through his visor. He had explored countless worlds, but this one felt different. He had heard stories about the ruins. Some said they were built by a civilization long gone. Others whispered about their guardians. Elias was a soldier, an explorer, and sometimes a scientist, but even he felt a chill in the pit of his stomach. The air was heavy, and there was an eerie silence that pressed against his mind. "Keep your focus, Kane," he muttered under his breath. "It's just an old city. Nothing alive here, hopefully." He crouched behind a fallen crystal column and peered into the distance. The city had many layers, streets twisted and spiraled upward like staircases to the sky, bridges hung between towers, and strange machines, frozen mid-motion, dotted the landscape. Elias's mission was simple: survey the area, gather data, and return. But instinct told him this mission would not be simple. A faint sound made him freeze. A soft scraping, like claws against stone, echoed across the plaza. Elias's hand instinctively went to his blaster, his pulse quickening. Slowly, he moved toward the source, stepping carefully over the uneven ground. The sound grew louder, then suddenly, a creature burst from the shadows. It was sleek, fast, and unlike anything Elias had ever seen. 4 legs, 2 arms. Its skin glimmering with strange patterns that shifted as it moved. Its eyes glowed faintly, locking on to him. Elias fired his blaster instinctively. The creature yelped and leaped aside, moving with impossible speed. He fired again, missing narrowly. It snarled, a sound that was almost musical and charged. He dodged, rolling behind a broken wall, heart pounding. "This is not in the mission plan," he muttered, firing another shot. The blaster struck the creature, and it let out a screech before lunging at him again. Elias felt a sharp pain in his side. One of the claws had grazed his armor, piercing through the protective layer and cutting his flesh. Blood seeped through the suit. He stumbled back, trying to keep balance. His training kicked in, but fatigue from weeks of travel and the heat of the planet slowed him. Another creature appeared, smaller this time, circling around him. Elias realized he was surrounded. Then, everything changed. A shadow moved across the plaza. Larger than any of the creatures, it descended from above. Elias looked up, shielding his eyes. The sunlight glinted off something massive and elegant, a being of incredible grace. Its wings, if they could be called wings, spread wide, catching the light in shimmering hues. Its form was humanoid, tall and regal, with a crown-like structure on its head. The creatures around Elias froze and retreated, as if in fear. The being landed softly, and for a moment, time seemed to stop. Elias could feel its presence in his mind, a quiet, powerful force that demanded attention. The alien queen. Elias didn't move, unsure if he should flee or stay. The queen approached him slowly. Her eyes, a deep, luminous violet, studying him with an intensity he had never experienced. She knelt down beside him, her long, delicate fingers reaching out toward the wound on his side. He flinched, expecting pain, but instead warmth spread through him as she touched his injury. His body relaxed, and the sharp sting faded. It was as if the wound was never there. "After all these years, I've finally found you," she whispered. Her voice was soft, melodic, yet carried the weight of centuries. Elias's mind reeled. "Found me? How does she even know me? I don't understand," he managed, his voice hoarse. Who are you?" The queen tilted her head slightly, her expression unreadable. I am the one who has waited. You carry the bloodline of one who once saved my people, your ancestor. I have watched, patient, for you to arrive." Elias blinked, struggling to comprehend. Memories, not his own, flashed through his mind. Visions of battles fought long ago, alien cities under siege, humans standing against impossible odds. He recognized his own features in the faces of warriors long dead. What are you saying?" he asked, voice trembling. "I'm just... me. I'm Captain Kane." The Queen's hand rested on his shoulder, gentle but firm. "You are more than you know. Your blood carries the courage, the cunning, and the strength of your forebears. That is why I have found you now, when the galaxy faces a threat that neither humans nor my people can face alone." Elias swallowed hard. He had faced danger before, but the weight of destiny pressed down on him like a mountain. His mind raced with questions. Why me? How could a human be connected to her? Suddenly, the creatures that had attacked him began to stir again, hesitating but not retreating. The Queen rose to her full height, and a wave of energy pulsed from her. The creatures stopped entirely, lowering themselves to the ground, submissive. "You see," she said softly, "your people are capable of more than they realize. That is why I have waited for you." Elias's pulse quickened. The Queen wasn't just powerful, she respected humans. And that respect, rare as it was, carried something else. Hope. Why now?" he asked. "If my ancestor did something for you, why wait centuries?" "The threat I speak of," she said, her voice low, almost sorrowful, "does not give notice. It comes without warning. Only one with your bloodline can lead the defense, can unite those who would otherwise fall. That is why I sought you." Elias felt a mixture of awe and fear. He had survived countless missions, but this was unlike anything he had ever imagined. "Then, what do I do?" he asked, almost whispering. The Queen extended her hand. "Come with me. Learn what you must. Time is short and the galaxy is not patient. You will see why your courage is needed and why humans, your kind, are more remarkable than even you believe." Elias hesitated, looking back at the ruins, at the creatures that had attacked him. He thought of his crew, his home, the human worlds. Yet something inside him stirred, a spark of destiny, a feeling that this moment was larger than himself. With a deep breath, he took her hand. The energy from her touch flowed through him again, a strange mixture of warmth and power. The world around them seemed to shift, colors blending and lights bending as the Queen guided him upward toward a hovering ship of impossible design. Inside the ship, the walls pulsed with light, showing images of distant galaxies, stars he had never seen, planets untouched by human hands. Elias moved cautiously, absorbing the wonders around him. "You will understand soon," the Queen said, her eyes meeting his. "But first, you must heal and you must learn. There is no time for doubt." Elias nodded, though his mind was a storm of questions. Who am I in this story? What role does humanity play? Outside the viewport, the creatures that had attacked him remained frozen, as if the presence of the Queen alone was enough to hold them at bay. Elias realized that this was only the beginning. The galaxy was far larger, far stranger, and far more dangerous than anything he had faced. And somehow, he was at the center of it. As the ship lifted into the sky, leaving the ruined city behind, Elias allowed himself a moment to breathe. He glanced at the Queen, her form luminous and commanding. "After all these years," she whispered again, "I have finally found you." Elias Kane, ordinary man turned unlikely hero, felt the weight of destiny settle on his shoulders. And though fear tugged at him, a spark of determination ignited in his heart. Whatever lay ahead, he knew one thing: Humanity was about to show the galaxy that it was not to be underestimated. The stars stretched before them, endless and mysterious. And for the first time, Elias realized that his journey was only just beginning. The interior of the Queen's ship was unlike anything Elias had ever seen. The walls pulsed with light, shifting colors like the auroras of his home planet, and delicate structures floated in the air, defying gravity. It was beautiful, alien, and somehow alive. Every surface shimmered as if responding to his presence, and a faint hum filled the air, a sound that resonated deep within his chest. Elias stumbled slightly as he followed the Queen down a corridor that seemed to twist and bend. His wound, which had burned sharply in the ruins, was now completely healed. He flexed his side, half expecting pain, but found none. "You heal quickly," he said, astonished. What are you?" The Queen paused and looked at him, her eyes calm and deep. "I am called many things, but to my people, I am the one who guides and protects. And you carry a connection that has spanned centuries." Elias frowned. "A connection? I don't understand. I'm just a human. I've never met anyone like you before. I've never done anything special, except maybe survive a few fights." The Queen's lips curved into a faint smile. "You underestimate yourselves, humans. You survive where others would fall. You adapt where others fail. And sometimes the courage of one human can change the fate of many." Elias shook his head, still trying to make sense of her words. "You're saying I have some kind of responsibility? But how? I'm not a hero. I'm just me." "You are more than you know," the Queen said. She motioned for him to follow her into a large chamber. The walls were lined with crystal panels, each glowing faintly. At the center of the room was a pool of liquid that shimmered like mercury, reflecting images of worlds, stars, and battles from long ago. "This is the memory pool," she explained. "It shows events from the past, events that shape the present. Your ancestor, he saved my people when our civilization faced extinction." Elias leaned closer, staring into the pool. His breath caught in his throat as images began to appear. He saw a human, strong, brave, and determined, leading a small group of warriors against a massive alien army. The humans fought with intelligence, improvising weapons and tactics that seemed impossible for their size and numbers. The battle was fierce, but in the end, the humans triumphed, turning the tide for the alien forces. "That man," the Queen said softly, "is your ancestor. The courage in his blood has flowed through generations. That is why I have waited for you." Elias felt a strange sensation in his chest, as if the victories of a long-dead man were now part of him. Memories not his own flickered through his mind, strategies, courage, hope, and sacrifice. He stumbled back, overwhelmed. I don't understand," he whispered. "How can I feel these things? They're not mine." The Queen knelt beside him again, her hand resting lightly on his arm. "Blood remembers. Courage, intelligence, determination. These qualities pass through time, through generations. Your ancestors carried the spark that my people needed, and now it has awakened in you." Elias shook his head, trying to clear the dizzying thoughts. "But why me? Why now?" "The galaxy is on the brink of danger," she said, her voice grave. "A fleet of rogue warships approaches. They seek to conquer, to destroy all who oppose them. Humans, my people. None are strong enough alone. But together, we can stand." He swallowed hard. His mind raced. He had faced danger before, yes, but this was on a scale he had never imagined. Entire civilizations, entire worlds were at stake, and he was supposed to lead them? "You expect me to do what?" Elias asked, disbelief in his voice. "I do not ask," the Queen said. "I offer guidance. The choice is yours, but know this. Time is short, and hesitation could cost countless lives. Elias turned away, pacing the chamber. I've never led anyone beyond a squad, he muttered. I've never commanded fleets. How am I supposed to fight a galactic threat? How am I supposed to even survive? The Queen watched him quietly. Humans have a unique quality, the ability to learn, to adapt, to act where others falter. That is why I believe in you. You are capable of far more than you imagine. Elias paused, looking out at the stars visible through the ship's transparent hull. He thought of his home planet, of his friends, of humanity itself. Somehow, despite the fear, he felt a spark of resolve. He was not alone. The Queen's presence, her guidance, and the power he carried through his bloodline gave him courage. I'll try, he said finally, his voice firm. I don't know if I can do this, but I'll try. The Queen nodded. That is all I ask. Courage is not the absence of fear, Elias Kane. It is acting in spite of it. They spent the following hours together in the memory pool chamber. The Queen showed him more visions, alien worlds on the brink of war, humans surviving impossible odds, and the first meeting between his ancestor and her people. He learned how humans had once been underestimated by countless species, only to rise through ingenuity, courage, and sheer determination. Elias felt a strange pride swelling in him. Humans, they were not invincible, but they were clever, brave, and unpredictable. And that unpredictability, the Queen explained, was their greatest strength. You see, she said, tracing a delicate finger across one of the glowing crystal panels, humans have a gift. You think in ways others cannot. You act where others hesitate. That is why I have waited centuries for your arrival. You are the spark my people need to unite with yours. Elias nodded slowly. I understand. Maybe. It's just a lot to take in. The Queen studied him carefully, her eyes reflecting the pool's shimmering light. Yes, it is. But you are not alone. I will guide you. And together, we will prepare for the coming threat. For the next day, Elias explored the ship, learning its systems, marveling at alien technology that seemed impossible. He found weapons capable of incredible feats, shields that could deflect entire fleets, and engines that could travel faster than light. But more than the technology, he learned about the Queen herself, a leader, a protector, and a strategist whose intelligence and foresight surpassed that of any human he had ever known. During a quiet moment, the Queen led him to a small chamber filled with floating lights, each representing a memory or lesson from her people. Here, you may rest and reflect, she said. The journey ahead will test you, but understanding the past is essential for shaping the future. Elias lay down, exhaustion finally catching up to him. As he drifted into a light sleep, he dreamed of battles long ago, of humans standing against impossible odds, and of a luminous figure, tall, regal, and commanding, who had guided them through. When he awoke, he realized he felt stronger, wiser, and more determined. The Queen watched him quietly. Tomorrow, she said, we begin preparations. The rogue fleet is moving. They will not wait. And when the time comes, humans will show the galaxy what they are truly capable of. Elias stood, determination in his eyes. I'm ready. I don't know everything yet, but I'll do whatever it takes. The Queen smiled faintly. That is all I ask. Courage, intelligence, and perseverance, and your ancestor had these, and now they are yours. Outside the ship, the stars stretched endlessly, indifferent yet beautiful. And as the human captain prepared to step into a galaxy larger and more dangerous than he had ever imagined, he realized that the past, present, and future were connected. The courage of those long gone had awakened in him, and with the Queen's guidance, Humans and aliens alike might just survive the coming storm. Elias took one last look at the stars before turning back to the Queen. "Let's get to work," he said. "Yes," she replied, her voice steady and confident. "We have much to prepare, and together we will face whatever comes." And so, for the first time, Captain Elias Kane understood the true meaning of legacy, courage, and unity. He was no longer just a man. He was a link in a chain that stretched across centuries, a beacon for his people, and a symbol of what humans could achieve when they refused to yield. The galaxy was vast, the dangers were real, but for the first time, Elias Kane felt ready to meet them head-on. The journey ahead would be long, difficult, and full of uncertainty, but he would not face it alone. And somewhere deep in the ship, the alien queen traced her fingers lightly across another crystal panel, watching, waiting, and knowing that after all these years, the one she had sought had finally awakened. The human fleet hung in the cold black of space, scattered across the stars like shards of silver glass. Captain Elias Kane stood on the bridge of the Aurora, a sleek warship retrofitted with alien technology. His eyes scanned the holographic display, showing ships moving in patterns he had never seen before. Beside him, the alien queen observed silently, her violet eyes glowing softly. "Your people are clever," she said. "But there is fear. They do not trust me easily." Elias nodded. "Neither did I at first. But I've learned something. Humans fight with more than weapons. We fight with our minds, our creativity. That's our edge. That's why I believe this alliance can work." The Queen's lips curved into a faint smile. "Then we shall see if your confidence is well placed." The first challenge came quickly. A fleet of rogue alien ships appeared on sensors, massive and menacing. Their design was aggressive, with jagged armor plating and glowing weapons capable of tearing through even the strongest shields. The rogue commanders seemed to recognize the arrival of the Queen's ship and immediately formed a formation that spread across the starfield. Elias clenched his fists. "They're moving faster than expected," he said, "and they're coordinated. But we have something they don't expect." The Queen raised an eyebrow. "And what is that?" "Human ingenuity," Elias said. "Our ability to improvise, adapt, and act unpredictably. They may have technology, but we have thinking. Flexible, daring, and unexpected thinking." The Queen considered this, her gaze flicking to the fleet outside. "Very well. Show me, Captain Kane." The humans and aliens moved as one under Elias's direction. He had spent hours learning the alien ship systems, understanding their weapons, shields, and engines. He began issuing commands, blending human strategy with alien technology. "Prepare the forward plasma arrays," Elias instructed. "Angle shields to absorb energy and reflect it back. And deploy the decoy drones. Let them think we're weak." The crew moved swiftly, their confidence growing under his guidance. For the first time, humans and aliens worked in tandem. The decoy drones flitted across space, drawing the enemy's fire. When the rogue ships focused on them, the humans struck with sudden bursts of energy from the plasma arrays, catching the attackers off guard. The first wave of the rogue fleet was destroyed within minutes, but the humans paid a price. The Aurora shuddered as a stray blast struck the hull. Alarms blared and the crew scrambled to stabilize the ship. Elias remained calm, his mind already calculating the next moves. "Adjust course to flank their right wing," he ordered. "Use the gravitational pull of that nearby asteroid field. They won't expect it." The Queen tilted her head. "Asteroids. Are you certain this will work?" Elias smiled faintly. "They'll follow us blindly, thinking we're cornered. But humans think in angles others don't. Trust me." As the ships maneuvered, the rogue fleet followed, their formation breaking apart in confusion. Then, with perfect timing, the humans and Queen's forces attacked from multiple directions, turning the tide. Several enemy ships were disabled, their crews surrendering or fleeing. The Queen's expression changed from curiosity to admiration. "Your people are remarkable," she said. "I have underestimated the value of human unpredictability." Elias shrugged. "We survive by adapting, and we're stubborn. You can never underestimate stubborn humans." But the battle was far from over. Sensors suddenly lit up with hundreds of enemy ships jumping into the system. The rogue fleet was larger than they had expected. Elias's jaw tightened. "They're not giving up," he muttered. "But neither will we." The Queen's voice was calm, commanding. "Focus on coordination, Captain. We have technology and strategy, but they have numbers. You must inspire your people." Elias took a deep breath and turned to his crew. "Listen up. They may outnumber us, but they do not outthink us. We are humans, and we survive where others fail. Use your heads, act fast, and trust your instincts. We fight smart, we fight together, and we will win." A cheer went up from the crew. Morale, always fragile in space battles, surged. The humans were ready. As the fleet engaged, Elias noticed something curious. Rogue ships moved almost predictably, relying on brute force. Humans, in contrast, acted in unpredictable patterns, sudden flanking, using the environment, even turning weapons backward to surprise attackers. The Queen observed silently, nodding occasionally. One small squadron of human pilots using stolen alien tech created a decoy formation that lured a large portion of the enemy fleet into a narrow asteroid field. The ships crashed or were destroyed by debris, leaving the remaining enemies vulnerable. "Impressive," the Queen said. "Your species' creativity is unmatched." Elias allowed himself a small grin. "It's in our nature. We survive by thinking, by daring, and by refusing to give up." Even as they celebrated minor victories, Elias noticed a more pressing danger. A massive rogue flagship emerged from hyperspace, larger than any ship in the fleet. Its weapons glowed like suns, and its shields seemed nearly impenetrable. "That is their command vessel," Elias said. "We need a plan. They'll focus on it first." The Queen's eyes narrowed. "It will take strategy, courage, and unity to defeat it. Are your people ready, Captain?" Elias turned to his fleet. "We don't have a choice. Every human and every alien with us must fight smart and fight together. Let's show them that they cannot break us." The fleet moved as one, combining human daring and alien precision. Small squads used nimble ships to draw fire, while larger ships delivered powerful strikes to weak points in the enemy formation. Elias personally led a small team in a daring maneuver, flying close to the flagship and planting disruption charges on its hull. The flagship shuddered under the attack, its shields flickering. Enemy ships scrambled to defend it, leaving gaps in the formation. Elias and his squadron exploited these gaps, striking with precision and speed. The humans' creativity and adaptability turned the tide. The rogue flagship was heavily damaged, and its fleet faltered. The Queen's forces moved in to finish the battle, securing victory. After the fight, the fleet regrouped. Elias stood on the Aurora's bridge, exhausted but exhilarated. The Queen approached him, her presence calm yet commanding. "You have done well," she said. "Not only have you led your people, but you have also shown that humans are capable of greatness beyond what I imagined." Elias shook his head, smiling faintly. "It wasn't me alone. Humans and aliens together, teamwork. And yes, a bit of luck." The Queen's gaze was steady. "Luck has little to do with it. Strategy, courage, and creativity. These are your strengths. And now my people have seen them firsthand." Elias looked out at the stars, at the scattered fleet of ships recovering from battle. He realized that humans, often underestimated by other species, had just proven their worth on a galactic stage. Their courage, ingenuity, and determination had turned a desperate situation into a victory. But even as they celebrated, Elias felt a growing unease. The rogue fleet they had fought was only a fragment. Sensors showed signals from a larger armada moving through hyperspace, one that would arrive soon. "The real fight is yet to come," he said quietly. The Queen nodded. "And when it arrives, humans will be ready. Your kind adapts, learns, and rises. That is why I have sought you, Captain Kane. That is why you are important, not just to my people, but to the galaxy itself." Elias felt the weight of responsibility settle on him again. He was not a hero by choice, but he was one by destiny. And now, humans had proven that they were not just capable of surviving, they could triumph against overwhelming odds. As the fleet prepared for the next engagement, Elias took a moment to look at the stars. He thought of his ancestors, of the courage that had flowed through generations, and of the trust placed in him by the alien queen. The universe was vast, full of dangers and wonders, but humans had shown what they could do when united and determined. And under Elias Kane's leadership, with the queen by his side, they were ready to face whatever came next. The stars stretched endlessly, the battle scars of the first fight still glowing on the fleet's hulls. And in that quiet moment, Elias realized a truth he had always suspected, but now understood fully. Humans were not just survivors. They were catalysts, a force that could change the course of history itself. The galaxy had begun to take notice. The alien queen's homeworld rose in the distance, a dazzling planet with floating cities, glowing forests, and rivers of light winding across its surface. Elias Kane stared through the viewport, awestruck. He had seen many worlds, but nothing like this. It was alive, vibrant, and full of secrets waiting to be discovered. "We are close," the queen said, her voice calm yet commanding. "Here, you will understand the truth about your lineage and why your presence is crucial." Elias nodded, though his mind was heavy with the events of the past days. He had led a successful battle alongside the Queen's forces, proving human ingenuity and courage. Yet, as he looked out at the planet, he felt the weight of expectation pressing down on him. As the ship descended, the Queen led him through her crystalline palace. Each corridor glowed with soft light, showing images of her people's history. Wars fought, civilizations saved, and alliances formed and broken. Elias marveled at the beauty and complexity of it all. Finally, they reached a chamber larger than any he had seen, with a high ceiling that seemed to disappear into the sky. At the center was a circular platform, and floating above it was a pool of luminous liquid, the memory pool, much like the one aboard her ship, but far larger and more powerful. "This is where the truth will be revealed," the Queen said. "Step forward, Captain Kane. What you see here will guide your path." Elias hesitated, then stepped onto the platform. The pool shimmered, and images began to form. At first they were hazy, like dreams, but soon they sharpened. He saw his ancestor, a brave human warrior, standing beside the Queen centuries ago. The scenes showed battles, strategies, and moments of profound sacrifice. "He made a pact with my people," the Queen said softly. "A pact that would endure through his bloodline. When the galaxy faces a threat too great to overcome, a descendant would rise. That descendant is you." Elias staggered back, stunned. "You mean me? I'm supposed to continue what he started?" "Yes," the Queen said, her tone serious but not unkind. "Your courage, your intelligence, your willingness to act in the face of danger, they are the qualities that have passed through generations. And now, you are the one who must unite humans and my people to face the coming threat." Elias's mind raced. The rogue fleet they had fought was only a fragment of the real enemy. He had proven himself in battle, yes, but the Queen's words made him realize the scale of what lay ahead. This was no longer just survival, it was leadership on a galactic scale. "Why me?" he asked quietly. "Why my bloodline?" The Queen extended her hand, and a wave of energy flowed from her, surrounding him with visions. "Because your ancestors showed qualities that are rare. Courage alone is not enough. Intelligence alone is not enough. But the combination of these, along with adaptability and perseverance, that is the key. Your people carry it in their very essence. You have inherited it, and now it awakens." Elias felt a strange warmth in his chest. Memories not his own flashed through his mind, strategies, battles, victories, and sacrifices. It was overwhelming, yet empowering. He began to understand the responsibility he had inherited. "You are ready to lead," the Queen continued, "but first you must understand the enemy. The rogue fleet is only a small part of the danger. There are forces in the galaxy that seek to dominate everything. They are intelligent, ruthless, and patient. We must be cleverer still." Elias nodded slowly, determination settling in his heart. "Then we prepare. We cannot wait. If they strike without warning, we must be ready to respond immediately." The Queen guided him to a series of crystal panels that displayed star systems, fleet movements, and signals from distant civilizations. Elias studied them carefully, learning to predict patterns and anticipate enemy tactics. His understanding of the alien technology grew rapidly, and he began to formulate strategies that combined human unpredictability with the Queen's advanced knowledge. Hours passed, then days. Elias worked tirelessly, learning, planning, and preparing. The Queen observed him quietly, occasionally offering guidance, but allowing him to make decisions. She wanted him to understand that leadership was not about following orders. It was about thinking, adapting, and inspiring others. One evening, as Elias studied the patterns of the rogue fleets, the Queen approached him. "There is something you must see," she said, leading him to a hidden chamber deep within the palace. Inside, a series of holographic recordings showed the truth behind a betrayal. A faction within the human ranks had been secretly communicating with the rogue fleet, attempting to seize alien technology for personal gain. Elias's heart sank as he watched the recordings. The traitors were skilled, cunning, and dangerous. "They seek to undermine everything we are building," the Queen said, "and they may act at any moment. You must be vigilant." Elias clenched his fists. "I won't let them succeed, not while I can stop them." The Queen nodded. "Good. Remember, courage and intelligence alone are not enough. You must also inspire loyalty and trust. Only then can humans and my people act as one." The next day, Elias convened a meeting with the human leaders aboard the Queen's ship. He presented the evidence of the betrayal, carefully explaining the stakes. Some were shocked, others angry, but all listened. Elias spoke with a calm authority, blending the lessons he had learned from the Queen with his own experience. "Humans are capable of great things," he told them, "but we are strongest when we work together. This is not just about survival. It's about proving that we can face any threat, no matter how impossible it seems. But to do that, we must trust one another. And we must trust the Queen." Slowly, the leaders nodded. Their skepticism began to fade as they saw the determination in Elias's eyes. He was not just a soldier, he was a leader, a strategist, and a symbol of human potential. The Queen watched from the side, a faint smile on her face. Elias was learning what it meant to lead, and humans were beginning to understand the power of unity. For the next few days, the humans and aliens trained together, sharing tactics, testing strategies, and learning each other's strengths. Elias oversaw every exercise. ensuring that humans retained their creative edge while integrating with the Queen's advanced technology. One evening, as the training exercises ended, Elias stood on a balcony overlooking the glowing forests of the planet. The stars shone brightly above, and the air was filled with a soft hum of energy from the city below. "You have done well," the Queen said, appearing beside him. "The humans are learning quickly. They are beginning to see their potential." Elias nodded. "It's not just training. It's trust. They see that we can win together, that humans are more than just warriors. They are thinkers, planners, problem solvers." The Queen placed a hand on his shoulder. "And that is why you are important, Captain Kane. Not just for what you can do, but for what you inspire in others. The galaxy will test you, but humans will rise to meet it." Just then, alarms sounded throughout the palace. Sensors detected a fleet approaching the planet, an armada larger and more advanced than any Elias had seen. The rogue fleet had regrouped, and now the true enemy was arriving. Elias turned to the Queen, determination blazing in his eyes. "It's time. Humans are ready. We'll show them what we can do." The Queen nodded. "And together we will fight. But remember, this is only the beginning. The galaxy is vast, and danger lurks in ways you cannot yet imagine. Stay vigilant and trust in your people." Elias took a deep breath, feeling the weight of his bloodline, the responsibility of leadership, and the hope of humanity resting on his shoulders. The coming battle would test everything he had learned, but he was ready. He was no longer just a man. He was a link in a chain of courage and determination that stretched across centuries. As the enemy fleet appeared on the horizon, dark and ominous against the stars, Elias felt a surge of confidence. Humans, often underestimated, were about to demonstrate their greatest strength: creativity, courage, and the will to survive against impossible odds. The Queen watched silently, her eyes reflecting the incoming threat. "After all these years," she whispered, "I have finally found you. And now, together, we will face what comes." Elias gripped the railing of the balcony, feeling the energy of the planet beneath him. He looked out at the stars, at the approaching armada, and knew that the real test was about to begin. Humanity and the Queen's people were united, prepared, and ready to fight. And when the battle came, the galaxy would see that humans were a force to be reckoned with. The stars stretched endlessly, full of mystery and danger. But Elias Kane was ready. The secrets had been revealed, the past had spoken, and the future awaited. And in that moment, he knew that no matter how great the threat, humans would rise, adapt, and survive. The galaxy was quiet, almost impossibly so, as the human-alien fleet hovered at the edge of the star system. Captain Elias Kane stood on the bridge of the Aurora, his eyes fixed on the horizon where the enemy armada emerged like a dark storm. Hundreds of ships, massive and jagged, filled the void, their weapons glowing ominously. This was no ordinary battle. This was the fight for survival. Beside him, the alien Queen moved with calm precision, her presence a steadying force. "They have numbers," she said, her voice low but commanding. "But we have strategy, unity, and courage. Remember that." Elias nodded, feeling the weight of centuries of human and alien legacy pressing on his shoulders. "Humans are ready," he said. "They've trained, adapted, and learned. Today we'll show the galaxy what we can do." The fleet hummed to life, lights blinking as ships aligned for battle. Humans and aliens moved in seamless coordination, combining human ingenuity with alien technology. Small, agile human fighters flanked the enemy, while massive alien ships delivered heavy strikes. Every ship, every crew, every mind worked in perfect harmony. Elias turned to the tactical display. The enemy flagship loomed at the center, larger and more menacing than any vessel he had ever faced. Its shields glowed with a brilliance that suggested near invincibility. Surrounding it were hundreds of smaller ships, their movements precise and deadly. "This won't be easy," Elias muttered, "but nothing worth doing ever is." The Queen's eyes gleamed. "Lead, Captain. Inspire your people, and the galaxy will witness the strength of humanity." Elias raised his voice, addressing both human and alien crews through the fleet's communication channels. "Listen up. Today we fight not just for survival, but for the future. They think we can be crushed. They think humans are weak, predictable, and insignificant. But they are wrong. We adapt, we innovate, and we fight with courage that cannot be measured by size or number. Today, we show them what humans and allies can do. Stand strong, think fast, and trust each other." A roar of determination echoed across the fleet. The humans, once unsure, now bristled with confidence. The aliens, initially cautious, moved with renewed precision. Together, they were a force unlike any the galaxy had seen. The battle began. The enemy fleet struck first, firing energy blasts that lit the void like fireworks. Shields flared as the fleet absorbed the hits, but Elias had anticipated this. Forward plasma arrays angle at 30 degrees, divert auxiliary power to shields, decoy drones deploy in 3, 2, 1. Small, human-piloted decoy drones launched into the enemy formation, drawing fire and creating confusion. The enemy ships reacted predictably, focusing on the decoys while leaving openings in their formation. Human fighters darted through these gaps, striking at weak points with pinpoint precision. The Queen's forces moved in perfect tandem, their massive ships unleashing coordinated volleys. Energy beams arced across space, colliding with enemy armor. The rogue fleet was forced into disarray. For every tactic they attempted, humans found a counter. For every advantage, they had a plan. Elias's mind raced. He spotted a cluster of enemy ships attempting to flank their left wing. "Small fighter squads, intercept the flank. Use asteroid field for cover. Strike fast, then regroup." The human pilots responded instantly, weaving through the asteroid field and ambushing the enemy ships. Explosions lit the void, and the rogue ships faltered. The tide was turning, but the flagship remained a problem. Its shields were nearly impenetrable, and its weapons could obliterate anything that came near. Elias turned to the Queen. "We need a plan to take the flagship," he said. "Direct assault won't work. We need to outthink them." The Queen nodded. "I have an idea. It will require coordination and daring. Are your people ready?" Elias glanced at the fleet. "They're ready. Humans thrive on risk and creativity. Let's do it." The plan was simple in theory but deadly in practice. Small, agile human fighters would create multiple diversionary attacks, drawing the flagship's weapons and shields in unpredictable directions. Meanwhile, a squadron led by Elias would approach from an angle the enemy would not anticipate, carrying disruption charges designed to temporarily disable the flagship's shields. "Execute in 3, 2, 1, go!" Elias shouted. The human fighters darted forward, zigzagging across the battlefield, firing, dodging, and drawing fire away from the main assault. The flagship's energy weapons burned, struggling to track the unpredictable movements. Elias led his squadron in a tight formation, slipping past enemy lines with precision. The disruption charges glowed in their hands, and with careful timing they launched them at the flagship's hull. The shields flickered, and then went dark for a brief, critical moment. "Now!" Elias shouted. The fleet's combined forces struck. Plasma beams, energy missiles, and human-piloted drones attacked the flagship's weak points simultaneously. Sparks flew across the hull as the shields failed to react in time. The flagship shuddered violently, its weapons misfiring, its formation collapsing. The smaller enemy ships panicked, trying to protect their leader. The Queen's massive vessels seized the opportunity, striking with devastating precision. The rogue fleet began to crumble under the combined assault. Elias's squadron pressed the attack, hitting every opening, exploiting every mistake. The humans' creativity and daring, paired with the Queen's advanced technology, proved unstoppable. As the flagship finally exploded in a brilliant flash, the remaining enemy ships scattered in disarray. The fleet let out a collective cheer. Humans and aliens alike had survived, and more than that, they had triumphed. Elias exhaled, feeling the weight of the battle lift from his shoulders. His people had fought bravely, their ingenuity and courage proving decisive. The Queen approached, her presence calm and regal. "You have done well, Captain Kane," she said. "Not only have you led your people, but you have inspired them. Humans have shown that courage and intelligence together can turn the impossible into victory." Elias shook his head, smiling faintly. "It wasn't me alone. Humans and aliens together, we made it happen. And yes, a bit of daring, too." The Queen's eyes gleamed with respect. "Daring is a quality humans possess in abundance. You have proven what I have known for centuries, that your species is a force unlike any other. You survive, adapt, and innovate. That is why I have waited for you." As the fleet regrouped, Elias looked out at the stars. The battle had been won, but he knew it was only the beginning. The galaxy was vast, full of dangers and mysteries yet to be discovered. But for now, humans had proven their worth. They were no longer seen as weak or insignificant. They were a force to be reckoned with. The human crew celebrated, their morale soaring. Pilots who had once doubted their chances now laughed and cheered. Engineers who had worried about failure now moved with confidence, knowing their work had made victory possible. The Queen's people watched with admiration, realizing that humans were more than fighters. They were thinkers, problem solvers, and innovators. Elias turned to the Queen. "We've done it. But what now? The galaxy is still full of threats." She smiled faintly. "We prepare, as always. The galaxy will test us again. But humans have shown they can rise to the challenge. And you, Captain Kane, have shown that leadership is not about fear. It is about inspiring courage in others." Elias nodded, feeling a sense of pride and purpose. The victory was theirs, but it was also a lesson. Unity, intelligence, and courage could overcome even the greatest odds. Later, as the fleet moved toward safety, Elias walked along the observation deck of the Aurora. The stars stretched endlessly before him, and he thought of his ancestors, of the courage that had flowed through generations, and of the bond with the alien Queen. He realized that destiny was not just about bloodline, it was about action, determination, and the will to stand against impossible odds. The Queen appeared beside him, her presence serene. "You have fulfilled the promise of your lineage," she said softly. "Humans have earned their place among the stars, and together we will face whatever comes." Elias looked at her, a sense of calm determination settling over him. "We've proven that humans are capable of more than anyone expected. We can survive, adapt, and triumph. And we'll keep doing it, as long as we need to." The Queen's hand touched his shoulder lightly. "After all these years, I have finally found you. And now, together, we will ensure that the future is shaped not by fear, but by courage and unity." The Aurora and the fleet moved onward, leaving behind the remnants of the battle. Stars, planets, and possibilities stretched endlessly before them. Elias Kane, human captain, and the alien Queen, ancient and wise, knew that the galaxy would continue to challenge them, but together, humans and aliens were unstoppable. In that moment, Elias felt the full weight of his journey, the battles, the lessons, the trust, and the victories. Humans were no longer just survivors, they were pioneers. Warriors, thinkers, and innovators. The galaxy had witnessed their strength, and the legend of human courage had grown even brighter. As the fleet sailed through the stars, Elias Kane knew this was only the beginning. Humanity had shown the galaxy what it was capable of. They had fought, they had adapted, and they had triumphed. And no matter what the future held, one thing was certain: humans would never be underestimated again. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, and for the first time in his life, Elias felt truly ready.